Eh? Bet you thought you saw the last of me, didn't you? Well, if you were subscribed and you had the notification bell on, well, you would know that more videos were coming your way. Just saying. But I have missed you all. Fucking 20 of you that watch these. But I actually have been busy with school. I moved, guys. This isn't the same set as if I don't live here. But, yeah, no, it's completely different. But here, look, check this shit out. Hello, hi. Look at this shit. Wow. Look at that. These are small indie film posters. As you can see, I have a broad collection of them. This was a barren wall, by the way. I hope you're listening. This was a barren wall, except for the Pulp Fiction one. So I just kind of had this empty space I needed to work with. And I had the Thing poster where Seven Samurai is. And then I had Seven Samurai where my Midsummer poster is now. And I just got this recently along with the Hereditary poster. I'm really going to fucking drop this thing. Anyway, I thought it would be neat to put Kurosawa next to someone who got inspired by him, Lucas, or, Kirchner. So I never thought of that. And then I put The Thing over here next to Pulp Fiction, because they kind of work, right? Because it's kind of like a pulpy, sci-fi type of, comic thing. Annie, shut up. That pain in the ass piece of shit brother you've seen me with in a couple videos. He's also, been keeping me busy. And I think it's time to address the elephant in the room. I'm pregnant. I'm not cutting my hair. I'm sorry. I'm not. It's just, I like it long. I don't know. If you can teach me how to style this, if anyone can teach me, leave me something in the comments. Also, my fucking stool is going to squeak a lot. So, if you did watch my previous video, you would know that I had some ideas in mind, some stuff I wanted to shuffle around. And one of these, how can I put this? It's fishy. It's fishy, and I can't really find too many ways to poke fun at this. So bear with me. It's going to be a little serious, but hopefully I could keep it lighthearted. Maybe we can throw in some fucking wacky edits here and there. Maybe it'll make it, more entertaining. Instagram has kind of become a huge part of our lives, whether we like it or not. This goes for Facebook, YouTube, and other social media apps I'm too kind of stupid to think about to get to my point. And a lot of people garner followings, completely out of nothing and build from the ground up, build an audience on the internet. And, it's as real as any group from the prehistoric days before the internet. Was that even a thing? Was that even a time? But the question that comes to mind is, what happens when you die? What happens to your... Such a fucking stupid question. What happens to your Instagram when you die? Does it go to heaven? Does it burn in social media hell for damnation for the type of nudes and lewds that you're posting to promote your OnlyFans? Tell us. What happens when you die to your Instagram? Normally, it tends to pass to a close family, if not, I think, maybe like a management. There are tons of examples of even celebrity accounts for people that died even before the internet blew up as much as it has and become as, mainstream as it has now. They'll post fan art, they'll post throwback photos of this particular person in their heyday, perhaps performing on stage, some behind the scenes exclusives, and at most promotion for a remixed song of theirs that's recently come out. That type of thing. But we aren't talking about Kurt Cobain's account. We aren't going to talk about XXX Tentacle Porn's account. I want to talk about Stan Lee's. For those of you who don't know, Stan Lee is essentially one of the largest and most recognizable comic book writers arguably in history. I mean, if you don't recognize the sunglasses, the aviator sunglasses, the slick back gray hair, the nice smile with the stash, the Excelsior, that kind of guy. He's always gotten cameos in Marvel movies for the past like 20 years. I mean, at least until he died. And I mean, this guy's responsible for, or at least he was responsible for some of the hugest comic book characters. I mean, here, check this shit out. I just recently started reading the X-Men, and I figured I might as well start at Chris Claremont's run. But as you can see here, you got all the old school characters from the classic X-Men, and most of these were, I'm pretty sure, Stan Lee's creation. So, you got Spider-Man, you got X-Men, Fantastic Four, I mean, you name it. Unfortunately, the time did come when he passed away, and the comic book community at large was mourning because of such a genuinely great guy. And he always believed in people, in them sharing their imaginations, you know, classic good old guy type of shit, you know. And quite frankly, when you look at his Instagram, it kind of checks off all the boxes that I mentioned before. It shows fan art, it shows him at Comic-Cons, it shows one of his more recent projects. I guess he had like a superhero kindergarten show that took off, and Arnold Schwarzenegger plays, I guess, the teacher. So it's essentially the spiritual successor of Kindergarten Cop. So what's the problem, you might be asking? Well, it's not his Instagram posts, seemingly. It's the stories that I've been having some trouble with. There have been posts on his story that haven't been too crazy, something that would fit the ballpark I've described previously, like this one here. Summer reading, but make it superheroic. Swipe up for 10 classic Marvel comics to check out. Relatively harmless. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are essentially the huge names that come to mind when you're thinking of like OG classic Marvel. They also posted, in case you missed it, Stan got a street in NYC named after him this week. Swipe up. I think that's pretty cool, actually. New York City recognized one of their greatest legends, quite frankly, and this is a huge step for not only the comic book community, for comic book writers at large, but also for the Jewish community, because he was, you know, his original name was Stanley Martin Lieber. I mean, listen, it doesn't get on the Shalom scale. Oh God, I need to shut up. They also have some quirky stuff relating to the Stan Lee superhero kindergarten show. You know, they posted like, have you ever nodded off in class? And you have to choose between maybe and never. And it shows like a little clip. Pretty harmless. And then we get to, remember those times Chris Evans turned down the role of Captain America? Swipe up to read. It's true. Well, hang on. Marvel released a new video from the final Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. table read. Everyone makes mistakes. Yes, even Marvel. Swipe up for 4 mistakes that made it into the MCU. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, Stan Lee was just a writer for comics. At most, in the MCU, he was just a cameo in a sort of celebration of his work and his lifelong dedication to comics. I thought it was kind of cute, sort of wholesome. But why would his account be promoting this? Olivia Wilde signed on to direct a female-centric Marvel movie for Sony. Swipe up to read more. James Gunn recently commented on a possible Marvel DC movie crossover. Swipe up. Listen, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies as much as the next guy. Listen, I even like Slither, okay? I thought it was a great fucking time. Scooby-Doo movies? Come on. Classic shit. But what the fuck does James Gunn's idea of a potential DC Marvel crossover have any fucking thing to do with Stan? In fact, there was a DC Marvel crossover in the comics. You want to know when that happened? Yeah, that's right. Way long after he stopped writing for Marvel. Looking for something fun to watch? Swipe up for a throwback to USC's marching band's Marvel-themed halftime performance. Who the fuck cares? Now, as you can see, I'm clearly getting enraged to the point where I am quite literally sweating, and it has nothing to do with that giant light shining. Actually, shit, do I have something I can tie my hair up with? This is some raw behind the scenes shit right here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, the hair looks so... Oh my god, I'm dying of heat actually. Like, unironically. Unironically having a heat stroke right now. Love it. Love to see it. Oh, Jesus Murphy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got my hair tied up. You know what that means? I'm about to fucking suck this video's dick dry. Now, a lot of these articles have had the little swipe up thing. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, where does it swipe up to? Well, it tends to redirect you to this site called therealstanlee.com. I don't think I have to mention the irony of it being called that, but we'll save it. And quite honestly, it looks like just about every other current blog site. There's nothing that really pops out. It's pretty plain looking. It's assorted very nicely and neat, I guess you could say. I've never really reviewed a website before. But you could see the top being sectioned off with trending, there being a shop, a life of an icon section, pop culture, showcase comics, and entertainment. And I think maybe most of these I don't have a problem with until you get to the entertainment one. Because that's where all these promoted articles are. They're all Marvel related, Marvel Cinematic Universe related. And they're all in this section. Now, granted, of course, not to be completely out of touch and just turning a blind eye, there is the comic section, and the comic section does have this cool series that they seem to have, where they write articles about obscure comic book characters that Stan has written that, you know, haven't gotten the spotlight because, quite frankly, there are all kinds of bizarre and low-key characters that I'm sure James Gunn would have a fucking orgasm for. And it's a series they last updated May 11th, so way more than a month ago at this point. But when was the last time they posted on their entertainment section? Literally yesterday at the time of recording this. Like, look at this shit. Tom Holland talked about wanting to play Spider-Man in a 2014 video that's resurfaced. A new Shang-Chi trailer reveals the return of a classic Marvel villain. Like, I know Stan wrote for some of these characters in the comics, but why is this on his site? And another thing that's very bizarre about the way the website is formatted is it shows the title in bold. It says POW Entertainment, right? The date it was published, and the section, and how many views the article has gotten. And clearly, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of traffic going through here. Another thing that is really very odd that kind of also made me want to make this video is the fact that none of these articles, at least none in the entertainment section, have a byline. I don't know who the fuck has written these. There is no name. There is no sort of place that... For those that I have read, they've really only taken sources from other publishing sites and collaged it onto theirs because it's Marvel. I mean, it also has, as you can see here, it also has this giant ad for Stan visas. Now I could rock the face of a man being puppeted after the grave by Marvel. Yeah, no, even the ones that aren't on the entertainment site, there's no byline. There's nothing. Now I'm going to have to get to a lot of tinfoil hat stuff. In truth, this video has been me just kind of rambling. Like I said, I don't know how to make this funny because it stinks of bizarre and strange. When you scroll to the bottom of the site, and I think this is the real interesting part here, it says, the site design and POW related content, 2020 POW Entertainment LLC, all rights reserved. Stan Lee, the Stan Lee image, Stan Lee's signature, the real Stan Lee, Excelsior, Nuff Said, and the Stan Lee logo are trademarks and property of POW Entertainment LLC. All other names, logos, and brands are property of their respective owners. All names used in this website are for identification and newsworthy purposes. Use of names, logos, and brands do not imply any type of endorsement. So, of course, if we were to take this straight for its word, it's not celebrating any sort of endorsement. So if we were to take this section of the website at the bottom as truth, then this website is not necessarily being used to pump up Marvel's numbers. Okay, so what the fuck's it for? The last real articles that were posted about Stan was June 10th. Before that, February 22nd. Before that, February 14th. January 4th. December 18th. September 12th. It seems that they're months apart, and it seems just like stretching. It doesn't seem like anything too incredibly interesting as far as sort of behind the curtain type of stuff. Stuff that any Marvel fan would already know. I really don't think that there is another person who's deceased, whose Instagram account and blog site, I guess, is being used in this way. I checked Paul Walker's, for example, because the latest Fast movie came out. So I thought, well, maybe there would be some crazy type of promotion on this thing. No. I checked Kurt Cobain, Pop Smoke, Frank fucking Sinatra. The only thing I've seen on Frank Sinatra's story has been stories of just him in the studio back in the day, and it's usually for a re-release. I also checked Chadwick Boseman's, and it certainly does not have anything else Marvel related on it. It comes back to the bottom of the website. Clearly, POW Entertainment owns Stan Lee's persona, essentially, because Stan Lee really doesn't exist. He was a character created by Stanley Martin Lieber as this cool, hip comic book writer, when really I don't think you could tell them apart other than name, truly. They seem to have been the same type of person. He didn't really take huge characteristic. So it seems that they're in their right to legally own his name, the likeness, the Nuff Said quote, the Excelsior quote. It seems to be legal, I guess, because it's not an actual person. I tried to look into the past of POW Entertainment, tried to see who owns them, and it seems it's this Chinese corporation. But the interesting thing is, Disney does have stock that they bought into the company. So they do have... So it does seem that Disney has a stake in his likeness, unfortunately. But then, here's where we get a little juicier. Here's the little zest, the spice on the top that makes it all way more suspicious if you haven't been suspicious already. And here on the wiki, it says, in May 2018, Lee filed a $1 billion lawsuit with the Los Angeles Superior Court against his own company that he founded, POW Entertainment, for, quote, stealing the rights to his name and likeness, among other complaints. The lawsuit named the CEO, Shane Duffy, as well as the co-founder of the company, Gil, I assume not like the fish Gil, stating that both parties, quote, conspired and agreed to broker a sham deal to sell POW to a company in China and fraudulently steal Stan Lee's identity, name, image, and likeness as part of a nefarious scheme to benefit financially at Lee's expense. So he founded the company in 2001. Here it says he would have been in his early 80s at the time, starting the company along with his associates. I mean, I'm just a guy here in my room just talking shit about things that interest me, but I don't know. It seems a little suspicious. It seems like they managed this corporation, turned against its main founder, and the reason it completely exists to begin with, because it quite literally is his brand, because Marvel already owns the heroes he created. So I don't know what the money situation is with that, but it seems this company has taken his likeness, taken the character of Stan Lee, and is continuing to promote Marvel Disney related properties for the sake of traffic, I think, to their site. But I don't have much evidence to prove it. I feel like a crazy person in my room right now. One of my original theories was that this was actually for Stan, and this was like a blog of his, and he would just write about things that interested him. So because the site existed, you know, they kind of just seized it, and that's the only thing they really knew to do with it. I tried going really far back into the website's posting, at least for articles. It seems it really starts early 2018. So it seems, or sorry, late 2018, early 2019. So I wonder what could have happened during that time that would have kicked off this type of content being posted. Oh, it's true. Stan died in November, didn't he? November 2018. Kind of suspicious, isn't it? What do you guys think? I'm obviously going to cobble this together. I'm going to leave the sites and stuff in the description because you guys need to just check this for yourself. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to make this really funny. It's just really bizarre. Behind the scenes with Stan Lee Etch-a-Sketch designers. Like, what the... you're getting one-on-one interviews with designers of a Stan Lee Etch-a-Sketch. When was the last time you ever heard a child using a fucking Etch-a-Sketch? Really, I know I've joked about not knowing how to end videos, but this is really something I don't know how to cap off. It's so out in the open. I just have more questions than I have answers. I tried looking more into it, but this is all the information I could get. But I did want to release this because it seems like no one else is talking about this. No one else has stumbled upon this. If you're interested to get answers, tweet Marvel. Tweet Stan Lee's account. I mean, shit, he's not going to answer, but someone will. I guess just simply ask them, hey, what's going on with Stan Lee's account? Look, guys, I really don't know how to end this, as I said. I guess just stick around if you're curious as to see what actual funny content I have upcoming. I promise it's not this weird and depressing, although it might be, no promises.